Starting stream in 3, 2.
Hi guys, welcome back to another Overthrow Disc Golf Patreon form review live stream, or another OTDGP FRLV. Obviously, that means that this is only for Patreons. The link is in the description below if you're wanting to know how to do this. Just an update, we did get some more, we got to restock some Clash in the shop. Of course, we still have our custom Clash. Wild Honey Review coming out soon. And, yeah, some Thought Space, right? We get anything else in the restock, Dakota?
Oh, just a little dash of Thought Space.
Okay. Yeah, it was Clash and Thought Space restock, so enjoy if you like this. And just a reminder, for our patrons, they get a discount code to our store, which, if you're buying Clash, like, pays for itself. So, all right, I gotta move this basket because I cannot see this stuff. There we go. As always, if you are here, as in I'm doing your form review, queue up, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to start mowing through it. When I say mowing through it, I don't mow quickly. But it is very intentional. Corey. Welcome back, Corey. I think I'm just going to start, actually, and then, so I'm just going to start with, well, it is probably better if they're here, so I should give it just a second, just in case someone else on. Disc Billy. Disc Billy. I am Big Billy. I am Big Billy, the biggest wet willy. I'm trying to think of that Kiffness song, Big Billy. I am the Big Billy. Oh, I am Big Willie. I am Big Billy? Oh, I am Big Billy, the biggest wet willy. Anyways. I am Big Billy from the Kiffness. All right, let's cue it up. Let's do just from the top. We'll go Bill Satori. Early turn imminent. Yeah, you can kind of tell when people start looking away, turning here into their cross step. So the cross step is really not a turn step. There might be a little turn happening, but it's a predominantly forward step, right? Let me show you. Just 1 second. Let me be light. Oh, so here we go. So first I would just look at the feel of this. Right, see how the attention's forward here with this right step before his cross step? Notice it doesn't change. Right, the intent is still forward. He does turn back a little bit. Right, also his feet are a little wider set than yours are. But here during this cross, the intent is still, okay, until I get fully on this left leg, I'm not going back. Right? So let me contrast with someone who looks much different, because it is fair to look at this and be like, wait a second. Isn't that exactly the same? Fair point. Not quite, though, because your hips are all the way back. right? His turned back a little bit earlier than most, but you're even past the range of Simon. So the shoulders are back, the chest is back already. So instead of that, we like to stay forward here. See how the chest is facing us? This right shoulder is still forward, this right hip still mostly forward, the eyes are still forward. Corey, you did not put a very important noun in there. A few times now someone told me I looked at the blank in the reach back, but I wasn't. You got to fill in the blank there, brother, and I'll be happy to answer your question. Okay, so what we want to do here, Bill, is here, still forward, still forward, still forward, right? And then we go into this cross step, still forward. You notice my foot did turn a little back. This is kind of a normal range for most people. I have kind of normal mobility. Simon, obviously, super flexible, so he can get a little further back and not have problems. Forward, and then take your cross step forward as well. And then we turn during the final step. See Simon here? Now he's going to turn his shoulders and all that back. Right? Right, what most people do, and we haven't looked beyond this point for you, but what most people do from your position here is they go, if they turn early here, it means that they're not spinning the last step turning, and then they get kind of back, and then they unturn, actually. So that's why it's really important to fix this, because it messes with other things. So here you are back early, and then my best guess is that this is going to start swinging open, this knee, this hip starts swinging forward here, like so. Right, so you're already unturning because you turned too early. So pretty classic example here, and that's why your disc is also behind you, right? So we want to delay that turn a step, because if we turn here, disc behind us, and prompts us to kind of unturn early. So a little bit better if we can go here, not turned, the disc is staying over here, and now turn. So now the chest gets all the way from the target. The shoulders, the back, turn towards the target completely. Right? One thing you're going to have to address for that to happen is your posture. Right? So you need to get good posture here. Get a little bit of stagger coming through this X step so you can create this little space here behind your front knee to go through. Okay, so we're here. Kind of forward toward the toes, the butt's out. We've got this nice kind of semi-squatted position. Now from there, we can turn our back towards the target. So here, so we haven't turned, turn. And we turn the whole time. So work on that X step, and then build into the coil after you get that X step, not turning all the way back there. We want to keep it, you know, just slightly diagonal, not back. All right. How much did you look back? A few times now, someone told me I looked at them in the reach back, but I wasn't. It's okay for your eyes to go back, you know, with the disc, because your head's just in the middle of your shoulders, right? It needs to be a natural move. If my shoulder's going back, it's unnatural for me to try to keep pushing my shoulders and moving my head in the opposite direction. So it just goes back with it. Don't fight it. Your head's not leading things here. It's just following the shoulders. Okay, next is Birdman.
Birdman.
cool disc. I do like the simplicity of the dip die. Oh, he's only got the top of it. Oh, it's not a dip, I guess. I was just looking at the disc the whole time. Yeah, decent move there. I think you can keep your hand on the back of the disc for a bit longer. See there? Your hand's already moving to the front of the disc. He's kept his around the back of the disc for quite a bit longer. Didn't send him out quite as early. So that's one little thing you can clean up. Now this is the moment I want to look at your X step moment here, because there's some interesting stuff going on. Because you go back with the hips here, you see, all the way back with the hips, just like the previous form review. But then you kind of finagle it a little bit. Yeah, so you're back super early here. You're too far back. Your hips are already back, your shoulders are back, right? So this whole time, like from here on, once your weight gets on your left foot, this whole final stride, the job that needs to happen during the final stride is the coil. But you're already back, right? So you're not loading, you're just waiting for the front foot to hit. Waiting. Right, so you're coiling, you're like preloading. And so now your hips are opening up here, right? You went from here, hips backwards, to here, hips open. You see that? Now your foot's planted, boop, and your hips are already forward, right? This is where your throw starts right now. When your foot gets planted, that's when your throw starts. So this is essentially your coil. You're only coiling this much because of your timing, right? Because until this foot's down, until this foot's planted, you don't have anything to throw against. So you're just throwing against air before that. So same thing as the previous guy. Is you've got to get your posture correct and come through here. Keep your right hip forward, keep your shoulder forward. Same thing, right hip forward, shoulder forward, because now we got to take this final step time and we got to do two things: step and turn. Right, and we got to turn as far back as we can during that time. So don't turn here and get everything back already, because now this is no separation. My shoulders are back and my hips are equally as back. So now you're going and swinging open like this. So now you got your shoulders back and your hips less back, but you've like counter coiled. So instead of that, side, side, now turn. Right? Or in twirly bird example, it would be here, here, now here. Right? That lets you wind up the whole final step. So you might have to look at posture to let you get through that X step. Make sure your butt's out. Make sure that you're not running into this other knee and having to go around. Right? But there's space here behind this right knee for your left to path forward, basically directly forward. And then turn once your weight's on your left. The dogs are barking. 1, 2. Yeah, so by this time you should be in your posture. And that posture is well, here, look at this. Look at this posture, butt out. See that? Boom. In his posture. Right. He's not straight up and down. Get into it. Get your butt on the ground. All right. Next, disc belly.
Big silly disability.
Hello? Where is the video? Okay, video starts at 22 seconds. Boom. Same problem, but yours is definitely a balance posture issue. See how you get here on your right heel? And you stay there. You can lift up your toes here. All right, that's why you're getting turned back. You're getting turned back because it's a posture balance issue. All right, so we don't want to turn back during this step. We want to turn back during the next step. But you've got no shot of, so let me show you where you want to be. You want to be here instead of here. Okay, where the hips are back. I'm already backwards here. My left foot is backwards. Right? I'm basically falling towards where I'm going. We don't want to be there. Instead, we want to be here. We want to be side on again. Very controlled here, right? I could post up on this leg if I wanted to. And then we spin the final step, turning. Now, your biggest barrier to that right now is that you're on your heel. If I do this whole thing, even if I have the spacing right, even if I have my intent right, if I'm on the heel here and I'm leaning back, this foot, my left leg, has to come back behind me to catch me. Okay, and it's going to catch me like this. This is the most natural way for it to catch me, to catch my weight, to keep me from falling on my butt, right? Your body likes self-preservation, not falling, right? So this, being on your heels, you're never going to get there. So you've got to work on, okay, can I get on in my athletic stance? Can I get towards my toes, right? I'm not saying that you need to be like high heeling it, but just towards your toes, right? This is much different than this right here versus here. This is where we want to be, right? Springy, knees bent, butt to the floor, chest over the toes here, versus rolling back to my heels, standing up, putting my butt underneath me, right? Get in the correct posture here, get your balance correct, and from there you'll have total control over every step, right? There's nothing telling me I have to step here right now, right? Nothing telling me I have to put my left step down, right? This posture lets me control where and when I take this step. Here, nothing telling me I need to go forward right now. I'm in control of this. Now I can turn. Right? But if we go on the heels, I go heel here, good luck trying to pick this up. I'm going to fall off of it, right? So my body's like, hurry up, get to the next step. Right? And now I'm in, still unbalanced, but it caught me. And then I just fall into the next one. So this posture, this balance, super important to get through here cleanly. So get in the proper posture. Get a little bit of stagger with your feet, right? Not directly in line, because if I go directly in line, even with good posture, I'm going to have to go around. But roll towards your toes, like you're going to pick something up. And then get through your cross step without turning. Right? And then once you're on this cross step, now we can coil. Now we can turn the shoulders. Here, no turn, no turn, turn. Now we've got the shoulders back, past the hips. Every second of practice that you spend working on posture is worthwhile. Is there a benefit to locking the disc into your forearm to preload more spin as opposed to more of a loose wrist? No. If you lock your wrist, you're going to have less spin. But it might be helpful if you're like trying to snap your wrist at the end, right? For a time, kind of lock it. Kind of. Okay, next is Ethan S. So here, this foot's already turning back a bit, right? I'm not looking for this specifically, but when it happens, I'm not like hopefully today's not form reviews of get through your X step properly, but it's a super common issue. So if your mind's set on turning early, you're going to turn early. But Paul's kind of here as well, and then he hops through. So maybe with all your hoppiness, you'll get through cleanly like Paul. And you did. Yay. Okay. It's too much tension. Right, your arms are spread kind of like Nicolas Antila, but you don't have any of the fluidity of Nicolas. It's too rigid. Also, this can turn. So you're back, but you're very rigid, you're very tight, so you're not getting as far back as you could be. I'm gonna use Drew because he's a little more upright, he's a little straighter, looks kind of similar to your form. Right, so look at this. This is 450 for Drew. We can see his back, right? I don't really see your back. I see a little bit of your right shoulder blade perhaps, but we're essentially dead on like your right shoulder. What's causing the back heel to go up like that? He's stiff. Right, look at this turn. Look at how he lets his butt turn. Right, the motion, very loose, very easy. Turn, right? It's not fighting to get in the positions here, right? This feels very like rigid with the lower body, right? You're too tight. We want, how solid we want it to be is an athletic type of solid. It's not like these things are made out of iron and they're just like, let's lock all the joints and be super rigid here, right? There's no athleticism in that. There's no fluidity. You need to glide through this, right? It needs to be dance. You need to be on ice. It's, look at the legs here, right? Just look at the legs here, right? Here's what you're doing, right? Here's what you need to do. There's a flow to this. Right, now look at the shoulders. Okay, so you're here. Again, this is where you're at. All right, I could feel the tension through the screen. It's here with the upper body. There's a ebb and flow to this, right? It's a wave. It's not like hammer and nail. Right, breathe. There's an athleticism to this. There's an athleticism in how fluid it looks, right? That's why it looks so effortless, because it's smooth. Right, so you've got all these chunks here. But when you tighten everything up, you can't get as far back. Chill out. Right? Exhale, go a little further back. Right? We'll just start from here. Bouncing. Right? Light. Light on the feet. And then we'll just go here for the coil, right? If you want to do this, good to go. If you want to be Niklas Antila, he's a great person to model, let's do it, right? But here, let's just breathe in, and then right, further and further back, less tension, more looseness, Right, same thing with the lower body. It's not, we're not ballerinas here. We're not straight-legged, tippy-toe, right? toes is like there's an athletic way to be on the toes, right? But you're not going to be athletic in high heels, right? Or else we'd see athletes in them more often, right? All the shoes for athletes would be elevated in the heels, but they're not, right? So solid but fluid, right? When we turn the shoulders, it's all connected loosely, but it's all connected, right? So when I turn the shoulders, because this is all loose, when I turn the shoulder far enough, it starts turning this hip. Right, if I go like this, whew, this turns. All right, you just take something, you go, boom, and you swing it back. Well, guess what? This went back too, right? So, zoom out, make it fluid. Haagen-Dazs.
Haagen-Dazs ice cream.
Huh. Jindaz. Ha. Jindaz.
Agendas. Agendas.
H agendas.
H agendas. You got to take those.
Tuk, 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 tuk. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do.
It was looking really good.
It was looking really good.
Yeah, I thought he was going to demolish it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, this position here is tough. It's tough to be this leaned back, right? You see some guys in distance comp who have to throw like really high in the air and are bringing in way more momentum and throwing probably a bit further. With some like tilt away from the target, but it's not common. You want to be centered as you go up, and we'll talk about why here shortly. You see this? Hey, how come Skeletor? I guess I have to redo Skeletor. Hiya, hiya. Analyzing. It just has twice the workload, so it's going to take 5 times as long. Okay, there we go. Right, look at the difference in the posture. Right, if your head's all the way over here, and you got to get to this centered position. Right, where the head's centered up, where you got the A-frame going. Right, that's a long way for your head to travel. And if it's got to do that the whole time, it's going to be tough to get like a clean coil. Right, so here your head's like going forward because you got to get your weight. You got to get your plant here, right? So your head's like, oh, I got to go all the way over there now, right? So it decides, hey, well, while we're doing that, we'll just go ahead and uncoil. Right, so by the time you're planted, hello? Okay, here it goes. And boom, there's a plant. Okay, there we go. So there's the plant. Boop. You've already come undone a bit. right? So you want to walk up inside this A-frame the whole time. So we've got here, A-frame, right? Feet, head. Want to stay centered. Centered. So the head and the belly button kind of create like our center line. And we want to keep that in between the feet basically. Right? And so now during the next step, in between the feet. So you don't waste a bunch of effort. Because if you're here, now you got to throw your head over this way, right? Throw your head over this way, bring you up over top of the brace, making it hard for you to really get a solid stop there. So instead here, stay centered. Stay centered. Coil, centered. Right? Sometimes I like to do it with this, with students, right? Where you grab something moderately heavy. In here, I want to be able to go every step in total control. Right? If I get back here with this sucker, with the weight, you're going to feel that's a lot of work to get this thing over here. Your back's not going to like it really. Right? So stay here. Boom, center, center, turn, centered. There we go. There we go. Throw. So yeah, questions on that, dude? Yeah. And it goes throughout your walk up. As you're going through, you're already kind of leaning back. And now this whole correction phase right here. Boom. So now you got to throw your upper body forward instead of keeping it still and putting that energy towards the hand. And then you rebound, right? And now you end up here over this front foot like I was saying. Right? But that happens because you had to swing from here. Right? Now it's like, well, we got to correct. We got to correct from here. So I got to get from here to centered. And then it goes, let me throw it real quick. And it's just incredibly tough to not go over that front foot like this after having to throw your weight forward. So just makes it tough to brace. Yeah, oh, this for sure would affect, this for sure affects your coil, your reach back. Right. Don't share my screen for a second, Mikey.
You're good.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, share my screen again. Yeah, I have this on my computer. I meant to make an Instagram something out of it because it's so important. Here. Here. Right? Maybe slightly backwards. Like maybe back just a little bit, but it's not much. Right here, I had mentioned some guys do it when they're throwing, higher or quite far. This is 450, so it's not short. But he doesn't have that much of a correction to be made here, right? And his right foot's not even down. Sorry, his left foot, his cross step's not even down. So by the time his cross step gets down, he's going to be balanced again. But this is his most non-balanced position. Obviously, it's balanced, right? But the A's tilted back a little bit. And there. Centered coil. Yeah, I mean, there's no specific drills. You got to grind it out. You have to go each step and show. Get in front of a mirror, get a weight in your hand, stare at your feet, and if when you look down, you're looking over top of your left shoe, it's wrong. Right? It should be you're looking in between your shoes. Perfectly in between your shoes. Not over your right shoe, not over your left shoe, in between the shoes. So yeah. No drills necessary, just deliberate practice, which is the toughest drill, the most important drill. Just practice in a way that you can't get it wrong. So, all right, last one is Luke. This is not the Luke from Swanky. Absolutely. Rubens. Yeah, you're too on this front foot. Because you sink down in it a little bit. I think you could glide through the X step a little better. I think you could glide through the X step a little better, but this little sink period here, where you're sinking into this front leg and drifting forward, I would remove that. Right, your goal when this leg hits is get this foot as far away from your belly button as possible, right, if you want to stop better. Right, sneaking underneath, and you're sinking into the leg a little bit, and as you sink, you drift on top of it. Right, so if your big toe could stop you immediately with your momentum, it would stop you. That would be like ultimate. But we want to go immediately when this foot touches the ground. Stay away from it. Like, do not get close to that foot. Don't sink in and then try to pop up later, right? That's just time where you're drifting over top of that front foot. This sucker needs to stop you immediately, right? So if you do this, if you do like a little cross and you try to push back and push back far, right? That's not a very strong push. I didn't have my foot very far away from me, right? But if I go here, I get a lot of pushback energy, a lot of stopping power by getting that foot out in front of me. Right, and on top of that, I'm not trying to sink into this thing for an indefinite amount of time and trying to redirect and trying to come out of it. I'm just trying to go, I just want to stop. Boom, right away. right? And it's easier to do that when your foot's further out, but also the mindset has to be stop right away, because I think it looks to me like you're trying to sit down into it and then maybe press up. It's probably better mindset just to go stop. Stop so hard that you don't drift over it at all. So, yeah, the goal there is immediate stoppage, not just for your foot, but for your hips, right? So you can stop the foot immediately, but the reason I'm saying belly button away is because I want all of this to stop. I want you to go boom, and for this to be planted as well, not for this to stop here and then for your hips to drift over and keep going and start rotating open. So, boom, immediate stoppage. From a full coil. That's what I want. Keep my center away from that foot. And then you'll be bracing better. I'm playing it the week after Memorial Day. Well, I don't know where we're playing today, but I'm definitely playing today. Dakota's definitely not playing today.
I'm not playing it either.
Mikey's not playing today either.
Oh,
Dang. Maybe I'm playing Halo right here.
I don't need these for that.
All right, guys. As always, thanks for tuning in. Hope that's beneficial. Like I said earlier, Clash restock. Of course, we have our 3 custom stamp Clash molds: Peppermint, Wild Honey, and Cookie in the shop as well. So, and you get a discount code if you're in our Patreon. So, really pays for itself if you're buying plastic. Obviously, if you're not buying plastic, it doesn't pay for itself. So, if you're already spending money, then it's saving money. All right. Peace. Have a good one.